rappers. Sit back, I'm about to sit back, I'm about to begin. Sit back, I'm about to begin.
This week we heard the news, and again, this is May, so take it for what it is. Andy Reid came out and talked to the press, talked to the media, and he addressed the situation with the tackle situation, the left and right tackles. And according to Andy Reid and according to Brett Veach, the plan is to have Donovan Smith start at left tackle, and then Jawaan Taylor will move back to right tackle. I put out there as soon as we had saw the news, and my tweet was, $60 million guaranteed to your right tackle. Wild. That's all I said. A few hours later, I get quote tweeted from the great Mitchell Schwartz. In case you don't know who that is the former right tackle for the Chiefs that helped the Chiefs win their first Super Bowl in 50 years. He quote tweeted me by saying, he only has to block, and he's talking about Jawaan Taylor, he only has to block checks notes, Max Crosby and Joey Bosa twice a year. Why bother investing in the position? Then Mitchell Schwartz later on went to say, because I replied to him, and I'll get to my replies in a second, he said, quote, you said it's wild they're paying a right tackle $60 million guaranteed. Ramczyk got more fully guaranteed than Taylor, 43-40, and just as much in total guarantees, $60 million. Lane Johnson makes more per year. McClinchy got 5 less fully guaranteed and 7.5 less total. It's the right tackle market, not quote-unquote wild, end quote. Okay. So that got a lot of attention, and first of all, let me get this out of the way. I have nothing but an insane amount of respect and admiration for my guy Mitchell Schwartz. I've said on this show and on Twitter and everywhere else that Mitchell Schwartz to me is the best right tackle of his generation.
There's a butt coming.
He is. I think I cannot appreciate more what Mitchell Schwartz did for the Chiefs. I think he should be in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I think this guy was the best right tackle, including Lane Johnson.
Facts.
I think he was the best. That man was unreal. Yes.
Iron Man.
And it sucks that a back injury took him out, because I really do believe if the Chiefs just had him or Eric Fisher in the Super Bowl, they win that Super Bowl. I will die on that hill. Because you could clearly tell the tackle position was just moot. They could not do anything on the outside for Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl against that Buccaneers front seven.
Yeah.
But, and this is where I'm going to come
You don't know
at
football.
this. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really appreciate Mitchell misrepresenting my stance on the left tackle, right tackle situation and how I have been consistent on it since the signing of Jawaan Taylor. And I'm going to explain why. For one, the Chiefs let their starting left tackle walk in Orlando Brown Jr. Let him walk. And not just walk, he signed with a big rival. I think the only real rival of the Chiefs right now, the Bengals. Mm-hmm. And simultaneously, within the next 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken, they signed Jawaan Taylor. And they didn't just sign Jawaan Taylor. They signed him to a $60 million guaranteed deal. 4 years. Mm-hmm. Every local reporter, every national reporter was saying one thing. There was a common theme to the Jawaan Taylor signing. He was going to play left tackle for the Chiefs.
Why else would you give him that much money?
Matt Verderame, one of the most connected guys, whether you like him or don't like him, doesn't matter. He is one of the most connected guys to the Chiefs organization. Literally said, and you can find the tweet, my understanding is that he will play left tackle for the Chiefs in 2023. Which would make sense, again, given the contract the Chiefs just gave him. I'm not debating, nor was I debating with Mitchell Schwartz or anybody else, how good of a right tackle Jawaan Taylor was, is, or would be for the Chiefs. Or how hard his job would be if he had to line up against Max Crosby and Joey Bosa. In no way, shape, or form is his job easy at right tackle, left tackle, any tackle. It doesn't matter. Never once, you can check my Twitter feed, never once was I opposed to the signing of Jawaan Taylor. Especially if what every single reporter was saying was true, that he was good enough to replace Brown Jr. at left tackle. I was obviously in the camp that wanted to keep Orlando Brown Jr. because I knew what he was at left tackle and it was good enough to help the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Correct. But if the people that know this game better and that know the team better said, no, this guy's better, and we're going to pay him what he's worth, and we're going to show you that he's a replacement and an adequate and an upgrade replacement from Orlando Brown, then I will be open-minded to it. Am I nervous? Am I concerned about it? Yes. Obviously, that's something I'm worried about, and I still would be worried about because we don't know what Jawaan Taylor is at left tackle. He's played about 15 snaps in total in his entire career at left tackle. That's not enough for me to buy in. You can put words in my mouth, but up until last week, the assumption was, again, we knew what left tackle was going to be for the Chiefs. And now we really don't. And as far as what Mitchell Schwartz was saying about Ramczyk and Lane Johnson, those are the two best right tackles in the entire league.
Yeah, it's the top of the top.
So I think we'd agree that they're the exception to the rule, not the norm. You're not paying guys that level, even with the market being what it is.
And I don't think anyone's had Jawaan Taylor up there with those guys anyways.
And Jawaan Taylor might be a top 5 right
tier.
tackle in the league. He might be. But you know what Ramczyk and Lane Johnson are? 1 and 2. Okay? So those guys are making that money for a justifiable reason. McClinchy, he brings up McClinchy. The Broncos paid. The Broncos played McClinchy not because he's great. They paid him out of desperation because that's all. They didn't have draft assets. They didn't have draft capital. They had to go and overspend on a middle-tier right tackle, which Mike McGlinchey very much is. He's not a great right tackle. That's why the Niners literally let him walk. When the Niners, a lot like the Chiefs, are a team that invests in tackles. And if this dude was still good in his mid-20s like he is, they would have kept him. And they didn't because the Broncos outbid for him. Based on the fact that Taylor was reportedly brought in to replace Brown Jr., the money made sense because the left tackle position was a massive need for the Chiefs, just like it still is. So if Taylor is playing right tackle and making top-tier money while the left tackle position is still very much in question, is it not wild to you that they're moving Taylor back, according to reports and according to Andy Reid, back to right tackle? And here's my biggest confusion when it comes to this entire discussion. Because I guess I'm the only one that remembers the last 2 months and how literally everyone was saying that the Chiefs paid Jawaan Taylor to be the left tackle, and I needed to get over my concerns. I remember I was getting crushed for it. Lance, you gotta trust in Veach, man. You gotta know they know this better than you do. Okay. Then let me see it. I'm a guy that wants to see it.
Which one is it?
But now, 2 months later, everyone is telling me that I need to accept the fact he's going to play right tackle because he's not the left tackle. Do you understand the confusion that I'm having? It's not that I'm opposed to him playing left or right tackle. It's that we're being sold 2 different things within a 2-month frame. And I'm supposed to understand that? And I get that Donovan Smith has tons of experience at left tackle and has been good in portions of his career. He has been. But do you know who else had plenty of experience at left tackle, who's 3 years younger than Donovan Smith and has been good enough to start for a Super Bowl winning team? That'd be Orlando Brown Jr., the same guy the Chiefs just let walk. I hope folks understand that Donovan Smith is not an upgrade at left tackle. He is not. Not at this point of his career. He's just a cheaper alternative. The only reason why people were out on Orlando Brown Jr. but gung-ho on Donovan Smith was due to money. I am convinced of that. You know why I know that? Because even PFF, the place everybody goes to, even though it's inconsistent and we have no real reason to believe in their grades, they graded Orlando Brown Jr. better than Donovan Smith last season. But there's a significant reason why the Chiefs offered Orlando Brown Jr. multiple $100 million contracts in multiple off seasons. And why the Bengals gave Brown the highest signing bonus that any offensive lineman has ever received in NFL history, while Donovan Smith was a free agent for over 2 months and just got a $4 million in base salary contract from the Chiefs. The expectations for both players are different, and that is why I'm still very much concerned, and I feel I have that right to be. Because I was told 8-9 weeks ago that they answered the call at left tackle. Now I'm being told opposite. Now we have a 29, soon-to-be 30-year-old guy who failed at his last spot over the last year or so. He's now the answer. When we all know he's not better than what the Chiefs just let walk out the door for a few more dollars. So I have my concerns at left tackle. People say, well, Lance, it doesn't really matter, whether it's left or right tackle. That's overrated now. Really? So let me ask this question. If left tackle is not more important than right tackle, why did the Chiefs trade for Orlando Brown Jr. and move him to left tackle? Well, that's where he wanted to play, Lance. Yeah, but if the Chiefs are trading for him and saying they're going to pay for him, don't they get to tell him where he's going to play if he really wants to play for him? And if right tackle's just as important and Orlando Brown's better at right tackle, the Chiefs should have just kept him there. No, they moved him to left tackle because they understand the relevance and concern of protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side.
Well, the money tells you which one's more valuable typically.